is it like to know the truth? What if all your life you've been seeking knowledge of truth, something that would set you free? Free as the birds or the leaves that blow on the trees at the reaction to the wind. Something that would free you from the burden and the fears of life, to live, to glow like the sun, to be present in the moment and all with the future, because the future is you. What if you knew the truth? Here you are, species that have no true knowledge of your origin. A story has been given and been told, and we follow it down. But the evidence of our true origin is limited. Sure, we go through a womb, a period of gestation, and we even bag that back to a sperm and an egg. But even that is not life. It is a tool, it's a tunnel for which you, who you are today, came into this reality. And yet, each of us know that we have to leave, have no more choice over it, in most instances, in the common interest, than we did in coming into this reality. And we all must go. And we can relate to a story about our origination that indicated that angels in heaven had to go when they defied the truth. They had to, in essence, die from heaven, the understanding of heaven, the knowledge of heaven, the beauty of heaven. And that story continued when supposedly the first man and woman in the Garden of Eden defied the truth. They had to die. To die. Death from heaven, death in the world. And to get back to that place, that wonderful oasis in which we all have a vision, an imagination that we one day will embrace. We have to die. So death is a tunnel whereby we go through the changes. From the womb, we know. We guess about before the womb, but the womb, we know. And we do know we die. We don't know if we progress anyplace else, but we do know we go through these changes. And we can believe we continue in this process, or that there is nothing else afterwards. Doesn't matter. Has nothing to do with truth. Truth is, and it will stand regardless of our beliefs. So let's look at it in the positive sense, that which gives us life, that which works, that gives us peace, that which enables us to go forward. That is the kind of truth we seek. And I say this to you. I don't know where this information that I'm about to share with you comes from. I know it is a result of my experience, but others have experienced the same things that I have experienced and come up with different conclusions and different inspirations. And I guess that's an expression of individuality. But what makes me feel that I have to share this with you is because of what it could bring forth, what its purpose should mean and can be. And that's a truth, of freedom into life. That regardless of where we come from, we are here. And that each of us would love to have our dreams realized in the forms in which we're in today. And each of us seek to become one with that knowledge. And we seek to do it now. And so, with that understanding and recognizing that nothing new has come along, that all things have been tried and has not produced that fruit, what is it? And I seek to believe that there are things that are coming amongst us and those things are achievable, accessible, and they should be guaranteed to each of us from one another. Because the absence thereof of any of these things which are essential for our own common needs would create friction and create disaster, create cancer. So to eliminate that is to guarantee that those things that we both, that each of us require, will never be denied. Now, what I'm saying is a story that you can get from some of my other tapes. But here's the truth that will set you free. You're going to die, but you want to live. And to live means to embrace all that living is. That's to know what you want, to go after it, and will achieve it. And you will achieve it because it is designed to be achieved. And anything that stands in your way is not for the good of you or the good of life. It's a robbery. And the thing that gives you the empowerment to go forward is because you know you are right. And why do you know you're right? Because you're willing to pay the highest price. First of all, you're doing nothing to others that you wouldn't want others to do to you. In other words, you're being good. You're being kind. You're considering. And that there is no negative impact on anyone. And each and everyone should embrace your desire and each other's desire, for wherein this lies the liberty. And so, this being a way of acting is an expression of an understanding of a new way of doing things. And nothing should interfere. And we live in a system that does not appreciate that. We live in a system that does not appreciate that. The angels in heaven lived in a system that did not appreciate the way they acted. And they had to die. Leave that place and go to another. There was a time when Adam and Eve, as I've stated, they had to leave that place and go to another. The child that's in the womb, there's a time that they have to leave that place and go to another. But here we are in the reality of knowing. We know what we want. We treat people like we want to be treated. We go after it. And the power that brought us here, that keeps us here, and is responsible for where we go, will take care of itself. It will do what it's supposed to do. You got to do what you are supposed to do. And that's to walk in the light. Walk in the truth. Walk in that which brings you life. Don't let anything interrupt you from the life. Now, here's the thing that makes you different from death. The God, because I want to bring God in here right now. God, that power that we can't see, that's responsible for all things, is in control. And we have a path, life has a path that one must walk in. You heard of everlasting life? Everlasting life, people won't get to and tell you the truth. But everlasting life already is. Everlasting life is alive today. Everlasting life has no end, has no beginning. It always is everlasting life. Now, It's nothing that we're going to be born into in the sense that we die and come into it. It's an understanding that you acquire, that you may choose to walk that path, and you walk into it, not accidentally. Excuse me. But you choose to walk into that path. And when you walk into that path, that is when life begins. When you step into that path, when you resist everything and step into that everlasting life path, then that's when life begins to become real. And that there are those who cannot appreciate the freedom and liberty that comes with everlasting life. So they try to control others. They can't control you any longer because they know that you know the truth. But they want to control others. And so what they are willing to do is to do what you are willing to allow to be done. You are willing to allow them to kill you before you give up the life that you have found. And they are willing to kill you to keep other people from knowing the life that you have truly found. And so you have to be willing, at least, you'll never walk into eternal life if you're not willing to die. Because all you got to have done to you to take you off the path is to threaten your life. So all is going to church and praising God the traditional way, is not going to bring you a step closer to the truth. The truth comes from a pure heart. A pure heart that wants to please God. And that pure heart was not always as pure as it is required in order to receive God, but it was on the path. And that path was laid by one's appreciation and respect and love for one another, for humankind, who always struggle to do something to better humankind, because that is an understanding that's embedded from the creation. I'm talking a lot longer than I had anticipated. I think I got something like 12 minutes of this. I hope I don't have it longer because I can't get it on the YouTube if I do. Well, I'm going to see if I can wrap this up. Here's what I want you to know. Walking in a life, everlasting life, is a choice. You don't just accidentally get into it. People can't just necessarily lead you to it. You got to want it from inside your heart. Every time you see somebody in pain, you automatically feel that same pain. Every time you see or hear somebody experiencing joy, you automatically experience that same joy. You don't know why, but it is what it is. And that's part of what it is. And you live your life like that. Sure, you want the best that life has to offer because you realize it's from God. And you know that God wants every last one of us to realize everything that we can out of life. And we must not, according to God's will, allow anything to prevent us from doing that. And we must be willing to allow somebody to kill us as an expression of our understanding, our reality. People who will kill you don't understand God. People kill you because they don't know God. People will kill you because they do not know God. War has everything that leads up to it, and you know what it is. But they're willing to step over that line and kill one another because they do not know God. They are trying to play God. And the winner is God to them. And everybody else is a loser. But with God, everybody's a winner. In time, we might not get there together, as Dr. King said. But the love of God will allow us to get there. The love of God will allow us to get there. Why? Because it was a part of the plan from the beginning for you to get there. And in the process, life keeps right on forward. Right on forward. So I think I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. But once you walk into this path, you're not a Republican, you're not a Democrat. You're for what's right. What's right for you is right for everybody. And the only thing that's better is something that's better for you and better for everybody else. Anything that causes pain and suffering for anyone, I don't care how much somebody else might benefit from it. If it's called pain and suffering to anyone, it's no good. It's no good. It's no good. That's the love of God. And if you want to be an expression of God, you got to think like that. You got to die like that. Sure, we are caught up in what we've been allowed to experience. Some of the jobs, some of the getting rich and looking better and thinking better, being wiser, smarter than others. The lovers we've had or have, the moments, the children, the family. We hate to see them go or to leave them. And to continue to do that, we sell our souls. But for the pure in heart, will see that and dare to step outside of it. And in so doing, step into everlasting life. And will not get off that track. Will not get in heaven. When the devil comes around, an archangel comes around and try to persuade you, you will say, not me. In the garden, when that snake comes around, you will say, not me. And even in this earth, when your government, which is a reflection of the mindless, heartless individual call themselves people, which will oppress one another as they have done, you will say, not me. And the world will change, or you will stay on the path of everlasting life. And the rest, what about the rest? I'll let you fill in the blank. Bye-bye.